Ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin today with a question. Imagine just for a moment that everything you've been waiting for, the dream you've prayed for, the victory you've worked for has already arrived. The success is yours, the doors are open, the opportunities are before you. Now ask yourself, what would your life look like if you acted today like that victory was already yours? The truth is, we often wait for the perfect moment before we start acting with confidence or commitment. We think I'll show up when things are in place. But let me tell you this, you cannot wait for the victory to show up before you act like you've already won. It begins in the mind. It begins with belief. What you believe about yourself will shape the life you experience. If you keep waiting for the world to hand you proof, you may be waiting a long time. But if you start today with the belief that you've already won, you will begin to see doors open, opportunities unfold, and a new version of yourself emerge. And this is the key. Belief is the foundation, but action is the fuel. You cannot simply believe that you're a winner, you must act like one. Every decision you make today, no matter how small, is a step toward the victory you want. If you're waiting for the breakthrough to happen before you move, you'll miss the process that gets you there. The process is where the power lies. And yes, along the way, doubts will try to creep in. Fear will try to paralyze you. But here's the truth. Fear is not the enemy. It's a signal that you are about to grow, to step into something new. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to keep moving forward in spite of it. So let me remind you, the greatest victories don't happen overnight. They are the result of consistency, of persistence, and of showing up even when no one is watching. It's about doing the work, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. It's about holding on to the vision you've seen, even when reality doesn't reflect it yet. Victory is not for the faint of heart, it's for the persistent. Understand this, the process isn't always pretty, but it's always purposeful. You may not see the full picture yet, but trust that the steps you're taking are moving you toward it. And every time you question your progress, remember that every step is a step forward, no matter how small. But here's the secret, my friends, you don't have to wait for the end result to embody the winner you're becoming. Start acting like the person you're becoming now. Walk with the confidence of someone who knows their worth. Speak with the conviction of someone who is sure of their path. When you act like you've already won, you begin to live like you already have. And most importantly, celebrate the journey. Celebrate where you are right now, even if it feels like you're far from your goal. Because victory isn't just about the destination, it's about the person you're becoming along the way. The strength, the wisdom, the resilience you're building are all part of the prize. So today I challenge you to start acting like you've already won. Walk in your victory, speaking your victory, living your victory. You don't have to wait for the finish line to begin celebrating what you've already overcome and what you're destined to achieve. Imagine for a moment, just a few seconds, that everything you've been dreaming of, praying for, and hoping for is already here. The vision you've held in your heart for so long has become a reality. The doors you thought were closed are now wide open. The challenges that once seemed impossible have been overcome. The success you've been working toward, even when it seemed far off, is now your present reality. What would your life look like if you truly believed that victory had already arrived? What would you do differently? How would you carry yourself knowing that the dream you've been chasing is no longer a distant goal, but something you can touch, feel, and experience right now? The truth is, most of us wait. We wait for the right moment, the right sign, the right person, the right opportunity. We think that once the breakthrough happens, then we'll be able to step into the person we're meant to be. But here's the secret: the moment you begin to act like you've already won is the moment your victory starts to show up. Too often we live in a place of waiting for the right time, but in reality, the right time is now. The future isn't some distant place. It starts with the decisions you make today. Every thought, every step, every choice you make is creating the future you'll step into. The person you're becoming begins right now in this moment. What would happen if instead of waiting for everything to line up perfectly, you acted as if your success was already inevitable? If you carried yourself with the belief that the victory is yours, not someday, but today. Imagine the courage you would have to take risks, to speak up, to show up for yourself and others, and to walk boldly into your calling. Now, I'm not saying that every day is going to be easy. I'm not saying that the road ahead won't have challenges. But I am saying this: when you begin with the vision of who you're becoming, you'll see obstacles not as barriers, but as stepping stones. You'll see setbacks not as failures, but as lessons preparing you for the bigger picture. You'll understand that everything you've gone through, everything you're going through, is part of the process that will eventually bring you to the place you've always dreamed of. So I ask you again, what if you started today not waiting for the victory to appear, but acting like you already have it? What if you showed up as the person you've been striving to become, regardless of the circumstances around you? What kind of power would you unleash in your life? What doors would you open? What changes would you make? Victory is not just a future promise, it's a present decision. And the first step toward that victory begins with a vision of who you are becoming, and what is already yours. When you see yourself as victorious, you begin to live differently, to speak differently, to think differently, and ultimately to create differently. The vision you have in your mind will be the life you manifest in the world around you. So let the vision guide you. Let it fuel your every move. Let it remind you that the greatness you seek is already in motion. You don't have to wait for the world to hand you proof. Your belief is the proof. The victory you've been waiting for is already on its way, but it starts with how you choose to see yourself today. We all have dreams, visions, and goals that we want to achieve. We can visualize them clearly in our minds, feel the excitement of success, and even imagine the joy of that breakthrough moment. But here's the truth: nothing happens until you take action. Dreams are beautiful, but they are nothing more than wishes unless they are fueled by the steps you're willing to take today. Too often, we get caught up in the waiting game. We wait for the perfect moment. We wait for the conditions to be just right. We wait for the resources to show up, the fear to go away, or for someone to give us permission. But here's what I want you to understand: you have to move first. You have to show up. Even when everything around you feels uncertain, you have to take that step, even when the way forward isn't clear. And that's where the power lies. Every small action you take brings you one step closer to the life you're envisioning. Sometimes it's not the big leaps that change everything, it's the daily decisions, the small choices that build momentum. Every phone call you make, every moment you dedicate to your craft, every piece of effort you pour into your vision will eventually lead to the breakthrough. But it all starts with a single step. The truth is, we often wait for the world to give us a sign, or we look for some external validation before we begin. But real change doesn't come from waiting for permission. It comes from the decision to act, to move in the direction of what you want, even when the world isn't cheering you on. You don't need to see the entire staircase before you take the first step. You just need to take it. And as you move forward, the path will begin to reveal itself. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. When you take action, you're telling the universe that you are serious about your dreams. You are aligning your energy, your time, and your effort with the life you want to create. It's in the doing that you discover the lessons you need to learn, the connections you need to make, and the strength you need to build. And yes, action can be uncomfortable. It can be messy. You won't always know exactly how things will unfold, and you may stumble along the way. But every mistake, every challenge, every moment of doubt is a part of the process that leads to your success. Because here's the thing, action is the seed that grows into opportunity. You can't wait for opportunity to knock, you have to create it by moving forward, even when it seems like the results aren't immediate. Imagine if you decided today to stop waiting and started acting as if your dream was already a reality. What would happen if you didn't hold back, if you didn't hesitate? What if you believed that each action you took was already part of the victory you've been waiting for? Because it is. Every action, no matter how small, is part of the path that will lead you to your breakthrough. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. There's no such thing. Take action now without needing the world to give you all the answers. You don't need everything to be figured out to begin. The world will move when you move. Your dreams will move when you decide to take action, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Don't let fear, doubt, or hesitation keep you from making progress. Every moment is an opportunity to move one step closer to your purpose. The victory you're dreaming of won't just appear, it's waiting for you to act. There's something that I know holds many of us back more than anything else, and it's not a lack of opportunity, it's not a lack of resources, it's fear. Fear of failing, fear of not being good enough, fear of not measuring up. And the thing about fear is that it doesn't always announce itself in grand, dramatic ways. Sometimes it whispers in your ear telling you, what if you don't make it? What if you don't make it? What if you fall short? What if you try and it doesn't work? And that's where the battle starts, in those quiet moments of doubt when we question our ability to move forward. But here's the thing, fear is not the enemy. Fear is simply a signal that you are stepping into something bigger than you've known, something outside your comfort zone, something worth pursuing. If you were playing it safe, staying where you were comfortable, fear would have no reason to show up. But when you are stretching towards something greater, when you are on the verge of growth, fear will show up every time. The key is not to wait for fear to leave. The key is to move forward in spite of it. You see, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the willingness to take action even when fear is present. It's about saying, yes, I hear you, I see you, but I'm still going to move. I'm still going to take that step. I'm still going to show up for myself and for my dreams, because when you act despite your fear, you send a message to yourself and to the world, I am bigger than my doubts. There are days when the fear feels overwhelming. It feels like a heavy weight on your chest, like you're standing on the edge of a cliff, unsure of what's below. And yes, that's normal. It's part of the journey. But the truth is, every great success, every great victory is forged in those moments when you push through the fear, when you decide that the dream is bigger than the doubt, when you decide that your vision is more important than your insecurity. Every successful person, every person you admire has faced those same feelings. They've had those same doubts. They've stood in front of the same fears. The difference is that they didn't let fear dictate their actions. They chose to trust in their calling more than they trusted in their doubts. They chose to believe in the possibility of what could happen if they kept going, even when they couldn't see the end, and so can you. Remember, this fear will always try to hold you back, but it will never have the power to stop you unless you allow it to. You were made for greatness, and every doubt that tries to shake you, every fear that tries to silence you, is simply a sign that you are closer to your breakthrough than you think. It's a sign that you are on the edge of something extraordinary. So when fear shows up in it, well, don't run from it, don't shrink back, acknowledge it, and then move forward anyway, because on the other side of that fear is the person you've always been meant to be. On the other side of that fear is the victory you've been waiting for. Fear cannot define you unless you let it. You get to decide how you respond to it. And when you choose to step forward in spite of the fear, you begin to rewrite your story and prove that nothing can hold you back, not your doubts, not your fears, not anything. There is something incredibly powerful about belief. It's a force that shakes everything in your life. In fact, I believe that the foundation of every success, every victory, every dream realized begins with one simple thing: belief in yourself. You see, belief is not just some abstract idea or wishful thinking. Belief is the quiet force that propels you to act, to try, to keep going, even when the odds seem stacked against you. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you doubted yourself? How many times have you asked, can I really do this, or wondered, am I enough? We all have moments of uncertainty, moments when the world tells us we're not qualified, not capable, not worthy. And yet, it's in those moments that your belief in yourself is tested, and this is where the power lies. Because when you believe in your own potential, when you truly believe that something greater is possible for you, you begin to see opportunities that others don't. You begin to act with a confidence that carries you through the hardest times. Belief is the lens through which you view the world. If you believe that success is possible, you will start seeing opportunities for growth everywhere you go. If you believe that you are worthy of your dreams, you'll stop second-guessing yourself and start taking bold action. But if you believe that your dreams are out of reach, if you believe that you are not enough, then your actions will reflect that. Your life will follow the path of your beliefs. So, if you're wondering why things aren't moving in the direction you want, maybe it's time to ask yourself, what do I truly believe? It's not just about having faith in the big, shiny dream you're chasing. It's about believing in yourself to make it happen. Belief in yourself is the quiet inner knowing that no matter the obstacles, no matter the setbacks, no matter the failures, you are still moving forward. You have to believe in your own ability to grow, to learn, to overcome, and to show up even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Sometimes our belief wavers, especially when we face challenges. We wonder if we're capable, if we're on the right path, or if we're even good enough to achieve what we dream of. But here's the thing: belief is not a feeling, it's a decision. It's a choice that you make every single day. You have to decide that your potential is limitless, even when the world tells you otherwise. When you choose to believe in yourself, you shift your mindset. You stop seeing yourself as a person who is limited by their circumstances, and you start seeing yourself as someone who is destined for greatness. And the power of belief doesn't just stop with you. When you believe in yourself, it has a ripple effect. Your belief in your own potential gives others permission to believe in theirs. Your confidence inspires those around you to step into their own greatness. Your belief in your vision, even when it's not visible yet, becomes the spark that ignites others to believe in their own possibilities. Belief is also the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It doesn't matter if the road ahead is unclear, if you don't know exactly how things are going to unfold. When you believe in yourself, you take that first step. And then the next one, and then the next. You keep moving forward, knowing that each step, no matter how small, is leading you toward the future you've imagined. So I want you to ask yourself, what would your life look like if you truly believed in yourself? What would happen if you trusted that everything you need to succeed is already within you? How different would your world be if you lived every single day with the conviction that your dreams are not only possible but inevitable? Because here's the truth: when you believe in your own worth, when you believe in your ability to create, to overcome, to succeed, nothing can stop you. Your belief in yourself is the key to unlocking doors that you didn't even know existed. It's the first step toward everything you want to achieve. Your dreams are waiting for you to believe in them and in yourself. The power of belief is within you, and it will guide you, strengthen you, and lead you to the greatness you were always meant to have. There is a truth that we all need to hear, especially in moments of doubt or frustration. Success isn't born from one big moment of brilliance. It's not a result of one massive effort or a single lucky break. No, success is built in the quiet moments, in the day-to-day choices you make when the world isn't watching, when the applause hasn't yet arrived, and when you're tempted to give up. It's in the persistence, in the consistency, in the unwavering commitment to keep going even when the progress feels slow or when the results aren't immediate. It's easy to start something when you're inspired, when everything feels new and exciting and when the energy is high, but what happens when the initial excitement fades? What happens when the path gets harder, the challenges become more difficult, and you begin to question if it's all worth it? This is where most people fall off. This is where they stop. They think that if it's not happening quickly, if it's not coming easy, then maybe it's just not meant to be. But here's the reality: true progress is made in the moments when you feel like giving up but choose to keep going anyway. You see, persistence is not about never facing difficulties. It's about continuing forward despite them. It's about knowing that every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn more, and to refine your approach. Persistence means that no matter how many times you fall, you get back up stronger, wiser, more determined. It means refusing to be defined by your failures, but rather seeing them as stepping stones on the way to your ultimate victory. Consistency, too, is the unsung hero of success. It's the steady, unwavering commitment to show up every single day, even when the results aren't visible yet. It's in those daily actions, those small habits, and those repeated efforts that your greatest achievements are formed. Consistency doesn't need grand gestures or huge moments of glory. It just needs you to keep showing up. Think about the most successful people you admire. They didn't get there by taking sporadic bursts of action. They got there by staying in the game, by committing to their craft day in and day out. They understood that their dreams weren't going to be achieved by taking a few big steps. They knew that the key to their success lay in the small, consistent steps, the small victories that over time built up to something monumental. And here's the powerful truth: persistence and consistency compound. When you take action every day, even if it feels insignificant, you are building something that is larger than the sum of its parts. One small act of persistence today may not seem like much, but add up all of those acts over time and they create momentum. Momentum is a force that carries you when you can no longer carry yourself. It's the snowball effect. What starts small eventually becomes unstoppable.